Hi, I'm Dr. Jenna Scare, better known as DocJenFit, and today we're going to address sciatica, and not necessarily the nerves that affect sciatica, but we're actually going to address some of the exercises that really help to stabilize so that you can really start to relieve any pains that you're having. Now, the thing with sciatica is that it depends on what is happening. There's no one thing that could be the reason. It might not be a disc issue. It might not even be coming from your back. Maybe it's actually piriformis syndrome and it's just the pinching in your butt. Well, there's so many reasons why you could be having this shooting pain that's kind of coming down the leg. And so learning what it actually is and where it could be caused from is so great to understand and learn within your body. Dr. Dom, my fiance, and I actually did a podcast on the Optimal Body podcast all about sciatica. So if you want more information, please check out that episode and really listen and learn so that you start to understand and feel more empowered within your body. Okay, now we're gonna go into some of the exercises. Now, the reason why we want to kind of balance out and stabilize this core area all the way from the pelvic floor, around the pelvis, the core, and the back is so that we get this foundation solid, we get more control of what's happening in the spine and the back between the hips. And then when you want to build on some glutes and do some more higher level exercises, you will actually have the control and strength so that you're not putting extra tension on the spine or down the leg, okay? So first thing that we're gonna do is do what I like to call a supine march. So this is really for this anterior core. Now, a lot of people think, oh, marches, they're so easy. You just go up and down like this, or you just tap here. But look at what's happening. I have zero control of my back and my hips, and I'm probably gonna feel a lot more tension in my quads, my hip flexors, and maybe even my back. So instead, what I want you to do is take a deep breath from this rib cage, open it out, exhale and feel this rib cage come down toward the pelvis. Now you're going to do that again, but this time as you exhale, I actually want you to think of the pelvic floor, the base of that pelvis lifting up as you breathe out. So it's almost like the pelvis and the rib cage are going to come down and meet each other. Okay, we're not sucking in the belly. If I suck in the belly to hold in my core, I flare my ribs and I push my pelvic floor down. Ooh, not what we want to be doing. We want this nice compression, solid foundation. So breathing in, breathing out. For women, you are thinking you are pulling a blueberry up and in. And for a man, you are thinking you are walking into really cold water and you need to pull up and in. I think you know what I'm talking about, okay? Breathing out, holding that. Now we're gonna hold this in place. I'm still breathing from my rib cage, but it's in a more compressed position so that everything ends up being nice and tight. Now, without moving these hips and rib cage, I'm gonna try to lift one leg and then the other. Okay, my spine isn't necessarily pressing into the floor. It's just that I'm holding from that pelvis. I'm holding down on my rib cage. It's nice and flat, hip bone to hip bone here. If you want to learn more about what this whole core thing is all about, I teach it specifically in the Optimal Body. We go through a core series every single month, so you can check that out and really learn and continue. This is just a baseline of where are you gaining control? Do you feel it more in your hips? Do you feel it in your back? Like, we need this awareness so that we understand how we can improve and gain strength. Okay, so that's the first one for the anterior core. Now we're gonna go to the back. Now for bridges, I wanna again draw my rib cage down toward my pelvis. Okay, pelvic floor up and nice and tight. Now I'm gonna hold this position as I press into a bridge. So that means as I push into a bridge, I'm not just lifting my belly and trying to go as high as possible. No. Let's keep that rib cage down, pelvic floor up, everything tight, and it lifts as one. So this is the bridge that we should be doing. Nice and slow and controlled, rib cage down in line with that pelvis and tailbone almost tucked underneath you. This is what puts you in good alignment, allows you to use those glutes and use those hamstrings so that it stays out of the quads. Okay, breathing here. If you have a lot of tightness or it increases symptoms down the leg, you might not be ready for that one just yet. If you are, you can always increase it by doing marches here and really seeing, can I keep this stable without any movement in my hips? Can I keep this nice and tight, still feeling kind of the core nice and tight all the way through from my hips, all the way to my rib cage, and no movement, okay? That's just gonna help to increase that stability in the pelvis to the spine even more. Okay, now I've got one last one for you that is such a killer and I absolutely love it. Now, what happens a lot with doing anything from the back is that we need to gain awareness of that spine, right? So here, if I'm doing cat-cow, what ends up happening is a lot of people know how to move from the upper back, but no awareness of how to move actually from that low back. And then what is the core even doing? So if you want to automatically kind of turn on that core and make it work through whatever range of motion you have available, even if it's this. This is a range of motion that might feel okay and comfortable, and that's okay. That's where you'll go. We're going to tuck the toes underneath, lift and hover the knees just a little bit, and then moving this way. That is going to make that core work super hard, shoulder blades, everything kind of working together, and then you're going to really feel, what is the range that I actually have available in my spine? The more that you work on this, the more that you progress as you're able. So don't do the exercises that increase pain. Only do what you're able to do. Listen to your body. But the more that we gain this control and strength within our body, the more that we're not going to feel those symptoms of aches and pains anymore. You have to actually move to really improve and feel something better. And if you are interested in understanding more about this body awareness, gaining control so that you don't have any aches and pains, I do highly recommend checking out the Optimal Body. It's our monthly subscription so that you understand core exercises, muscle activations, functional workouts that you can do anywhere, and mobility flows for every part of the body. It's something that I created so that you have your personal physical therapist right there with you, and you get to really, really learn and feel empowered in the body. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you comment, let me know what you're learning, let me know what you feel as you're doing it, and what you want to learn in the future. Subscribe so you make sure you don't miss out on any future videos that I drop on here.